Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful that you're taking time out of your busy schedules to come and to join our group coaching program. This is a special opportunity in addition to the one-on-one coaching that many of you have with an individual coach. This is an opportunity to gain some community and learn and grow from each other. And you get to share your best practices and ask questions and say, how do you all do this? And so it's nice to hear from other people that are in similar situations, what they are doing to progress and achieve their goals. The coach can give you some great insight and advice, but it's also great when you get it from a peer. And I've got a lot of comments and feedback from attendees of our group session that so they say, that the way that person said it, that just really hit me. It was really impactful, and they get to ask each other questions and so forth. So cameras and microphones are optional. If you want to come and listen and learn, great. You're welcome to participate in discussion points throughout the discussion tonight. Come off of mute and talk, or you're welcome to put it in the chat. I'll do my best to watch both sides, your hands and as well as the chats to make sure we're getting your answers or questions answered. All right, so you can all hear me. You can all see the slides. Great. Okay, thank you. So if you are not familiar with myself, you may have been working with one of my peer coaches in our group. This is my story. Is I've been in the financial industry for the last 23 years, helping individuals and families build their financial peace, to walk out of debt, or to build their wealth, or to just get organized, or talk about strategies and different techniques and tactics to help them to start really winning with their money. If you're familiar with Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University program, I taught that 16 times over an 8-year period. Loved it. Great program, great information, and great opportunity to collaborate with the community as well and learn from each other. So that's what I'm trying to replicate here as well. And I became one of Dave Ramsey's top preferred coaches, and we've built a team of 8 other coaches. We'll see their pictures here in a second. So I get the privilege of working with a great group of other coaches to be able to help more and more people because I can't help everybody. And I wish there was more hours in the day. So I get the privilege of working with these 8 other awesome coaches to help their clients. And so I'm grateful that you're joining us. There's a lot of resources that are available to you for free. It's all on our website, the bemoneystrong.com. There's our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that and continue to get inspiration, motivation, and helpful tips and tricks. So make sure you're subscribed to that. I put the links in the chat, so you can open the chat and on your Zoom window and connect with us in several different ways. Here's the picture of my other coaches. Some of them might be more familiar than others, but to have a wonderful, like I said, opportunity to work with them and meet with them and coach them every week in our coach mastermind calls, and then they get to go out and help and support you all. This house is what we're trying to build here. The roof is what we're trying to achieve is financial peace and prosperity. Whatever that means to you, you get to each define what does peace, what does prosperity mean to you. For some people, as I ask this question and say, well, what does being wealthy mean to you? And they say, just being there when my kids come home from school. Or when I go out to dinner, I can actually order an appetizer. That would be amazing. I had to do some traveling. And myself, I thought, I'm going to feel really prosperous when I can get one of those luggage carry-ons with the wheels that you can spin in any direction. Mine was still only going one way. It was like, oh, and I'm trying to steer the stupid thing down the aisle in there. I'm like, one day I know I'll have arrived when I have one of those that can go in any direction. I'll create a sinking fund for that and add it to my budget. But whatever that means for you and your peace and prosperity, that's what we're trying to build. And how the heck do we hold up that roof? We've got those 3 pillars: awareness, vision, and execution. We got to know where we are. We got to know where we want to be. And we got to have a plan that we can actually implement. It can't be a straitjacket. Our psychology, our mind, our heart will rebel if it feels like a straitjacket. Even if it's right and the math says to do it, if we don't buy into it on an emotional level, it won't ever happen. So we've got to be able to integrate the head, the hands, the heart, and really have all of this and be able to execute it. All of that is built on the foundation of accountability. So are we doing what we want to do, or are we just talking about it? Are we walking the walk or just talking the talk? So that's what coaching is all about, is to help you to increase your awareness, build your vision, execute and actually do the work, and hold you accountable so that you can do this, and maximize your progress. Why do professional athletes still have coaches? Because they know it increases their progress and their performance. So I'm grateful that you're here to maximize yours. As a level set, I start every one of these group sessions with the just kind of setting that foundation of knowledge and say, okay, this is the path. This is what we're trying to execute on. Here's the 7 baby steps that Dave Ramsey is so famous for teaching. It simplifies the process. If I can identify myself, where am I on the map, then I know where I am. That's awareness, where I want to go, vision. Now I just need to get and walk that path. So here's the path. Step one, save $1,000 for your beginner emergency fund. I know it doesn't go very far. It's not meant to. It's just meant to take the edge off so that if something happens, you reach for the emergency fund and not reach for a credit card. I was teaching this principle today, and I've been doing it several times lately with one of my clients. But you basically have 3 ways to accomplish your financial goals every month. And you can have, I say this, my clients are sick of me saying this, my kids definitely are. But I tell everybody you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. So we have a budget and we tell our money where to go. And we have 3 ways of paying for the things that I want in my life. My cash flow, my income minus my expenses. Hopefully that's a positive number, right? That's my budget. So my cash flow can provide my lifestyle. My savings can provide my lifestyle, or debt can provide my lifestyle, because those are the 3 ways that you're going to pay for your stuff. If you don't have the income for it, you're going to take it out of your savings or you're going to borrow for it. So that's why we want that $1,000. At least it gives us that second. Hopefully we don't need it, but if it's better to have it and not need it versus need it and not have it. So hopefully our budget, we can rob Peter to pay Paul, move some things around, we can shuffle, and we can still get what we need to get done this month. But if we don't and things go a little sideways for us, that's why it's so important to have that savings account, that $1,000, is it gives us that second backup from after our cash flow. We have our emergency fund, and worst case, then we have sometimes debt is the only way we can get through life. But that's baby step 2 now, is to get all debt off of your back, pay everything off, all student loans, all everything, anybody you owe money to, family loans, it all counts. You don't get to hide from it. Well, maybe the government's going to waive that, or maybe my mom will forget, or maybe they won't come to me to pay them back. No, yeah, you owe them money, so pay them back. So that's step 2, is to pay off all of your debts. I've got clients that have rental properties. That's baby step 2, not your primary house, not your mortgage. So pay it off. Baby step 3, now we get back to saving. Now we know if that $1,000 doesn't go very far, let's build it. Let's grow that. So we've got to get 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So if, heaven forbid, we lose a job, we have a larger emergency, we have a larger resource pool to be able to pull from. If our cash flow can't handle it, we have a larger savings account, 3 to 6 months worth of income. And unfortunately, we never know when an emergency is going to happen, right? We know it's going to happen, so we got to be ready for it. And I've had clients that from one session to the next, everything's stable, and the next session, the update, what's going on? Well, our job is going sideways, and the company is going in a new direction, and my job is being outsourced or replaced or eliminated, or I'm getting laid off. I've had very abrupt surprise kind of conversations. That emergency fund is your safety net. So make sure you've got it. Then baby step 4, invest 15% of your income into retirement. You will retire one day. Step 5, save for college. If you got kids, help them with college. Baby step 6, pay off your house. If you own a house, if you don't own a house and you would like to get one, we go back and put that in as baby step 3B. After your emergency fund, buying a house is not an emergency. So we get our emergency fund done, then we build our down payment fund, and then we get back to steps 4, 5, and 6. But step 6 again is to pay off that house, and ultimately, baby step 7 is to build wealth and give. Live like nobody else, so that later on we can live and give like nobody else. Dave Ramsey says. So let's pause for a second and just check in. What are your thoughts? Do you have any questions about these baby steps? And I'd love for you to share with the group, just so that everybody knows, hey, we're not alone. Tell us what baby step you personally are working on. and let us know I'm in baby step one, or I'm in baby step two, or I'm working on baby step six. I've got clients at all different stages. So you're welcome to throw it in the chat or come off of mute. But any questions out there on the baby steps? Anything I can help clarify?
I think for me, I'm I bounce around between baby step one and two.
Okay.
And it's like I get a little bit ahead and then like
Yep.
something else comes in and takes away number one again, you know, and then I'm kind of in this back and forth
Yo. Yep.
between those 2. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not alone, Mel. Thank you for sharing that. It's interesting that life is the take two steps forward and one step back. Or man, I don't. I've had clients say I've hit baby step one three times. I get it, and that's when Murphy moves in. Like, oh, you have the thousand, and it knew you had it, so it came for it. But just think, if you didn't have it, how much more would you have a bigger mountain to climb on baby step two? So thank goodness that we had it, right? That's awesome that you had it, and then life happens, but you rebuilt it. That's another tribute to you, Mel. Great job. Is some people get there and then life knocks them down and they kind of stay down. Like, no, because then what's going to happen? You're just going to grow your debt. You got to build it. I wish that these baby steps were a linear path and you'd only move forward. But unfortunately, I use this example a lot. When I was a kid, we used to play this stupid game, Shoots and Ladders. Anybody remember that Shoots and Ladders game? And you're moving up the stupid board, and then you hit that stupid slide, and you go all the way. I hate just my luck. I would hit that stupid long one and go back to the beginning. It was the never-ending game. Sometimes you get that ladder and you get to move forward, but yeah, that life is a lot like that Shoots and Ladders game where you move up and you slide down, and you move up and you slide down, but we never give up and we keep moving forward. I'll tell you my story. At one point in my life, I was working on baby step six, trying to do everything right, and I was doing the baby steps. I was chugging through it. And then we had a life disaster where we had what we thought was our dream home turned out to be the money pit, and we had a mold disaster and $40,000 left of mold remediation. Like, holy smokes, can we cash flow that? No. So what do we do? Well, stop putting extra money towards the house. Okay. Stop putting money towards the kids. Okay. Stop putting money to retirement. Okay. I'm getting a little nervous. How much do we have in the emergency fund? Not enough. Holy smokes. Our 3 to 6 months was not 40 grand. So we had to use that. Then what? Get a home equity line of credit to pay for the rest. Holy stars. I slid all the way back down to baby step one. But once you know how to do it, you can do it again. And you can dust yourself off, and you can show and share the scars that life has given you and help others, inspire others to say, you know what, guys, I'm back to baby step six. So I personally have been there, fallen back down, and getting back. I still haven't paid off my house yet. I'm still working on that. But Mel, that's the tribute to you and an inspiration to the rest of us that you don't give up. If you make it and you slide, you do it again. You know how to do it. You've done it 3 times, maybe, or however many times you do that. So thank you for sharing that. Other thoughts, comments about the baby steps, or if you want to share what baby step you are at, and if you have questions or complaints that, oh, I hate this step, it seems like I'm on there stuck on there forever. Bradley and Donna and in the chat said they're on baby step two. So good job for getting to that step. Hold on to your thousand, get to two, and push through it. So any other thoughts, comments, questions? How can I help you when you think about the baby steps? You face like a wall or a block. Let's talk about it. That's the point of this community, is to get some help from me or from each other. So how can I help? Any other thoughts or comments? Welcome to come off of mute or put it in the chat while you're building the bravery, the courage to share. I have clients that it's interesting. Again, for me, I focus, one of my unique approaches to coaching and money management is not just the math. I'm a nerd. I have an MBA. I can do the math and the strategy with you, but I thought I wanted to be a therapist before going into business school. I thought I was going to study psychology. And so I learned a lot about the mind and the personal behavior and personal development, so forth. And there's so much more mindset than there is of math in winning with money. And it's interesting that I'll watch clients that progress through these steps. And so I share this with you so you can identify and say, okay, that might be me, or watch for it because it could become you. Is they'll crank through baby step two, and they are gazelle intense and they are focused and they get out of debt super fast. And then they hit baby step three and they kind of stall. And literally, this was a case with the family that said, okay, how long, what did you do last year in debt, paying off debt? And they said, we paid $60,000 off last year in debt. But holy smokes, way to go. 60 grand. There's people that don't even make 60 grand. And they just hustled and lived on beans and rice. And they were very intense getting out of debt. Second year, how much did you save towards baby step three? Because if last year you did 60, I mean, I can't imagine what you saved. About 10,000. Like, what? What happened? You did 60 one year and 10 the next? Like, did life knock you upside the head? Like, what happened? And they were honest. It was nice that they opened up to me and they said, their quote was, well, saving is boring. It's like, okay, you hit your wall. That's the mindset, right? Getting out of debt, you were motivated because you wanted to get those creditors off your back. Somebody was coming for you. But with building your savings, it was just your future self that was waiting for you and holding and hoping that you were doing it and counting on you. And your future self is just so easy to ignore. And so they stalled in baby step three. So it's interesting. You don't know what it's going to be like until you get there. What will baby step three be like? I don't know. Maybe I would like to find out what baby step two is like. I'd love to figure out what baby step seven is like. Every step has a challenge. I have clients that say, I can't wait to get to baby step seven when I don't have the budget anymore. And I have a good laugh about that because even millionaires need to budget. All right, let's keep going. So I always do a follow up from our last month's session, just as a follow up, as we continue to meet every single month on the second Wednesday of every month. The link that got you here will show you the next month. So make sure you sign up for the next month as well so you can remember to be here. But last month, if you were here, we talked about financial unity. Again, this is not the math and the strategy side of me. This is the counselor kind of side of me, the therapist and that mindset. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I am a coach, but I want to talk about we did talk about financial unity. It's posted on my YouTube channel, so if you're not subscribed to that already, make sure you go back and find that the recording from last month's session. But we were talking about the balance between masculine and feminine perspectives. And this is not a gender thing. This is not men and women. This is masculine and feminine. As we talked about last time, there are men that have a feminine perspective, and there are women who have a masculine perspective. It's just how we approach things, how we see things. The masculine is, I got to build and get things done. The feminine is the nurturing um, and more of the heart. And so hopefully each one of you have both masculine and feminine perspectives, and it all depends on what you focus on and what you develop. So this last month, if you were here last month, let's talk about what did you try out? How did you apply what you learned? Or what did you do as a result of attending last month's group coaching program, their session? And if you weren't here, we want to celebrate with you what successes and wins have you had over the past month? You'll know this from my own coaching and every group session. Celebration is the number one way to repeat good behavior. If you want to win and continue to win, you need to celebrate more. And you celebrate every good thing, whether it's just showing up tonight. That's a win. So let's celebrate together. So come off of mute or put it in the chat. What was something that was a success or a win for you over the past month? Or share what you learned and applied from the topic, the last month's group session topic, I mean.
Um, from last month, I
Yeah,
remember I said that I needed to start cooking more. So I have,
nice.
and that has helped create some more like room in my budget because like when you don't eat out, like you're just not spending as much money. So that's the
Amazing.
benefit. I have been shocked about how high groceries are, but like once I spend that 200, I literally am like trying to figure out how far can I stretch that $200 worth of groceries? Like how many meals can I make?
So
Is this gonna be enough for lunch tomorrow too, kind of thing. So that's been helping a lot.
that's excellent. Great win and great inspiration. Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's just food preparation,
Yeah,
right? You shocked at the $200 of groceries. Were you shocked at the amount of eating out that you were doing, and the budget on that one, right? Was probably more than 200 for a lot of
it
families.
was.
Yeah, and dollar for dollar, you can always make it cheaper than you can buy it. Better
Hmm.
quality, better, right? It might be cheap, but that might just be the quality too. So that's awesome. Meal prep, planning for that, and that's awesome. Very good. One of these sessions, I'm going to have one of my other coaches, Wendy. She has an Olympic gold medal in the category of just buying stuff cheap and saving money and all these things. So we'll have her in a future session that'll talk just about that. How do I buy things cheaper? How do I meal prep? How do I meal plan? And it's amazing how much you can save. So way to go. Good work on that win. Bradley and Donna share in the chat that they paid off a few student loans. Nice job. Get those guys off your back. The government's not forgiving them, so let's get them off of your back. The bills always come due, so that's awesome that you're getting those off of your back. Congratulations. Any other successes and wins that you've had over this past month?
I will say for us, I've been really trying to stay within our budget, speaking of groceries, and like tracking how much I'm spending at the store. And I will say it is a lot hard. It's hard to do, but it's really interesting because I feel like if I don't think about what I'm spending, it's a lot higher than what I want. But if I'm tracking like each thing that I'm putting in the cart, I don't know. It just really helps me stay on track. But it's anyway, you really have to be like, you really have to pay attention because otherwise you can easily spend way more than what you were hoping.
Yeah,
So,
she literally had the calculator out at Spiss the other day.
Nice. That's a huge win, Savannah. Way to go. That was one of our strategies months ago. We're like, you got to just walk around with the phone out and just add it up. Ah, dang it. But yeah, talk about being mindful. That's excellent. And a good shout out, David, for her. That it's not, again, not rocket science. It's just being mindful, being proactive, calculate how much you have in the cart, know what your limit is, stick to it, and it makes a big difference. This is what makes millionaires, right? We love the romanticized stories of the get rich quicks and the entrepreneurs and the all these people that were overnight successes and now they're millionaires. Well, most stories are we just have to work at it, and it's going to take effort and patience and discipline and staying in from eating out. And I was last week. I was in Tennessee at Ramsey headquarters doing a Ramsey coach conference, and they have a gift shop there. And they were selling shirts, and one of the shirts is "We have food at home." Like it's that simple. How do I become a millionaire? You will live. We have food at home. And I've had clients that share their success, and they said, Brian, it was a busy day. We had baseball practice, and the kids were tired, and we're all cranky, and we're all hungry. And so we pulled into Chick-fil-A to go to dinner, and then we kept driving, and we went home. We pulled out of the parking lot and just went home and made a sandwich. That's a win, right? That's what puts you on the path. It teaches your brain we are making a change. We are on a different path. We're living like nobody else. We're not going to follow everybody else's path because that leads to being broke. So good job. Thank you all for sharing those wins. Let's talk about part of that Ramsey conference. Dr. John Delony spoke at it a couple times. Ken Coleman, there's keynote speakers from the Ramsey personalities. And in one of the final keynotes, Dr. John Delony shared these 6 choices that come out of his book, Building a Non-Anxious Life. So it's in the lower right. You can see the cover. You can find that in different places if you'd like to read it or get it from the library. But his book is Building a Non-Anxious Life. He's a mental health practitioner, one of the Ramsey personalities, does a different kind of a talk show than the Dave Ramsey show, where it's all about money. His is about some of the other harder things of life and relationships. But he wrote this book, Building a Non-Anxious Life, and it has 6 choices that we can make every single day to end the anxiety that we feel. And I'm going to take those principles and apply them to the financial side and help us to build a non-anxious financial life. That's one of my goals. Why I got into coaching was to help families and individuals end the stress that they feel with money. So it stops ruining their life and their mental wellness and keeping them up at night, and they're just stressed out of their mind sometimes. Money really has a way of ruining your life. So we got to figure out how to make it not so anxious. And so there's 6 choices we're going to talk about today to help you to build a non-anxious life in your financial situation. So let me get back to the Zoom window with my controls. Sorry. All right, here we go. All right. So you're seeing the slide about building a non-anxious life, right? Hopefully, if not, you can follow. All right. So we talked about his background. We're going to talk about these 6 choices that we can use to eliminate. Now, he mentioned, and I'll reiterate it, that some of these choices will come easy to you. Out of the 6, 1 or 2 of them might be really easy and just intuitive for you. And there might be 1 or 2 that are really hard and they are a challenge and they are not in my wheelhouse yet. But like anything else, it is repetition. I was talking with one of my clients earlier. She's a singer and she talks about has a goal of becoming a vocal coach. He says if anybody can sing, it's a muscle. They can develop that muscle and they can learn to sing, and I can help them. And I said, that's amazing. Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm here to coach the money muscle. And how do I develop that money muscle? How do I grow that side of my life? So these are 6 choices that some are going to be harder and some are going to be easier. Some exercises come easy, some exercises are harder. So find the ones that you are good at and the ones you need to work on, and we'll keep working through all 6 of these. So here's the 6 choices that we're going to talk about more in depth, but I wanted to give you a quick overview of them all. So the first one is to choose reality. We live in a world with lots of virtual reality, right? We can see it on our phones. We don't know if it's AI, if it's real. Is that a real video of that person talking, or is that an AI generated version of that person talking? Is that their real voice, right? We have he talked about this in the book that our youth today, anxiety is at an all-time high. And a lot of it is because we live in a false reality. So we've got to choose reality. We need to choose connection. In the ultimate connected world, we struggle with loneliness and we don't feel connected. It's easy. He mentioned this. It's easier to just do a DoorDash to get the cup of sugar than go to my neighbor's house and ask him, can I borrow a cup of sugar? We are not connected as much as we used to. We need to choose freedom. And financially, are we choosing freedom? The discipline brings freedom, not the lack of obstacles and the lack of challenges. That's not what freedom is. Discipline brings freedom. So we've got to choose freedom in our financial life. We need to choose health, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, all different forms of health. We need to choose mindfulness. Savannah brought that up, just thinking about things more. I'm more mindful when I went to the grocery store to the point where I had my calculator out. And I was figuring things out. Talk about mindfulness. It's a great example. Again, thanks for sharing that, Savannah. And finally, to choose belief, right? The game is won or lost in your head even before you get out on the field. So we have to believe that we can change our financial future. If not, the future is predictable. So we have to choose belief. All right, so let's dive into this. And I want to make sure this is, again, a discussion along the way and not just a lecture. I want to talk about this along our journey and ask questions and make comments, again, because this is where we learn and we grow from each other. First one is to choose reality. What does that mean on a financial perspective? Is you need to track your income, your expenses, your debts, and savings honestly. It might sound simple or oversimplified, but I have many clients that won't even look at their bank statements. They won't look at their credit card statements because they don't want to know. They want to live in their fantasy life, their fantasy land that everything's okay, but that's not that much. I say that people avoid reality checks. So we avoid mirrors, we avoid scales, and we avoid bank statements. Because I think I'm beautiful until I look in the mirror. I think I'm healthy until I step on the scale. And I think I'm wealthy until I look at my financial situation. And I ignore reality. So the very first one, again, this might be easy for you. You might be a nerd and you love the numbers. You might be a free spirit and you hate the numbers. And it's not right or wrong. It's just how your brain is wired. Do I ignore those things? Do I avoid reality? So make sure you choose reality and you know your numbers. We need to avoid denial or magical thinking about our money. That, oh, well, it'll all just work out. And we don't do the math and we realize there's no way that mathematically this is impossible. Talking to another client, it's like, well, I want to have send my kid to karate class. I'm like, that's great. Let's look at the budget. You are broke. You don't have money for that. Well, I already signed him up. There's some magical thinking. Like, oh, it all just works out. Or here's another one I see is we were talking about budgeting. How much do you need for kids' clothes? Well, maybe $50 a month. Okay, great. But this month you've already spent 150. Well, but I don't want to budget that much. I want to budget the 50. I'm like, it doesn't really matter what you want to budget. You've already spent $150. That you it's unless you want to take the stuff back, that is your budget this month. Don't you might get even worse. You got to stop. You got to know your numbers, right? It's not magical thinking. The money just doesn't come from anywhere or nowhere. We need to use budgeting tools for clarity. Again, one of the resources on our website is the personal financial statement and the current financial snapshot. Those are two Excel tools that I created to help families that don't use an app, which is fine. You can use paper, pencil, calendar, an app, whatever is easiest for you. Find what works. Dave Ramsey's app, Every Dollar is great. There's other apps like Monarch Money. There's other ones, Simplify. I've got people on all different versions, and some use a calendar and a piece of paper and a notebook, and that's okay. It's what works for you. You got to work it. So use those budgeting tools for clarity. And that way you see it. You live in the reality that you see the income, you see the expenses, and at the end, is it a positive number? And finally, you need to accept your financial starting point. You can't ignore where you are today. Hopefully it's better than you've been in the past. You showed up today, so hopefully you're making progress. Celebrate those things, but hopefully you are accepting that this is where I am. Not right or wrong. It's just a history lesson. This is where I am. So let's talk about this for a second. What does it mean to you? How do you apply this with this choice, choosing reality? What are your thoughts? Welcome to put it in the chat or come off of mute and let's learn from each other. What does choosing reality mean to you? Is this a strength? Is this a challenge for you? Any thoughts with that? Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
Cool.
Tracking every expense, like literally. Another thing I've been trying is every time I swipe my card, I go and I manually write it in my like budget.
Hey, how was that hard? Did that come easy and natural to you, or was that a
No, it's
hard
hard
behavior to learn?
because like you don't do it like as soon as you swipe. So, it's like when I get home or it's like, oh, it's been a couple days I haven't updated my budget and so then I have to go back and see, okay, what did I spend on this day? And as I'm looking at them, even sometimes I have moments where I be like, what did I spend $12 on at such and such store? And it's like, oh yeah, I remember I bought this. So it's like just keeping me accountable and helping me to see like if my budget was $100 and I've already spent 50, then it's like already showing me it's only halfway through the month. So it's like, okay, I gotta slow down or I gotta, it's helping in that way.
Excellent. That's talk about awareness, talk about living in reality. I thought I had more money. Well, I do or I don't. Right? Are we checking in? Those are amazing, healthy behaviors that every day I check in and I write stuff down. If I have a downloaded app or I go to my bank statement, either way, I got to give each transaction a name and total those categories. When I say give it a name, it means give it a category. Total those categories and then see, am I going too fast towards my goal? It's only the 13th of the month. Am I 75% of the way done with the month and I'm only 50% done with the, right? Am I going to run out of money before I run out of month? So good job. Thank you for the sharing that, Nicole. It's good inspiration for the rest of us. Write it down. Even if it's hard, right? That which we persist in doing becomes easier, not because the nature of the task changes, but because of our capacity increases. That was from Ralph Waldo Emerson, I believe that quote. So make sure you're doing the hard things. It gets easier the more we persist at doing it. Any other thoughts around choosing reality? Is it easy to hard? Think about this again. It's about applying it to your own situation. How and give yourself a self assessment. How am I doing, David?
Um, yeah. So Brent, I messaged you like I think yesterday about this book I've been reading, The Science of
Yeah.
Scaling,
Yep.
and I think it's just kind of like reality is also just being honest with yourself, like where you're at, just within your life and also your business. Because we've talked before, like I've been working on an app for a long time, and one thing I had to come with reality that also is reading this book is just like reality is like why have I been like so focused on just coding the app myself? And I had realizations like because I wanted to prove I'm a software engineer, but I'm already a software engineer, so why do I need to do it? Why not just use some tools that are out there? So like the last couple of days I've been working with my two partners and basically going to try and do a whole different revamp on it. We're going to actually use some tools where they can code and or not code, but like create the app with me as well. And so now there's instead of just one person, there's three people working on it. And
Awesome.
kind of just removing myself from the equation there and just is like, hey, the reality is I don't need to be the best software engineer. I just need to be a good CEO and create something.
Awesome.
So
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Are we doing it the hard way just to prove to ourselves? I don't feel like I have a real job unless I have dirt and on my hands and I'm tired at the end of the day, right? It's like, well, I already am a software engineer. I don't need to do this to prove it. Reminds me as I do business coaching, John Maxwell has in his laws of leadership, he talks about the law of the lid, that the business will never grow higher than the lid, which is the CEO, the leadership team. So how am I doing? Am I holding my business down? Am I holding my budget down? I am the lid. I am the common denominator in every aspect of my life. So if I don't like my reality, maybe the answer is in the mirror and not through the window. And I can blame everybody else in my job and my boss and my family or whatever, the weather, the economy, the president. This is my reality. These are my numbers. This is where I am. And I choose to move forward. And I choose to live a harder lifestyle. It is harder. Everything you guys are talked about, writing stuff down, knowing your numbers, budgeting, oh, it's so hard. It's just easier just to not look at it and put your head in the sand until later. Those people that do that will have a moment of, or many moments of regret in the future as they realize, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. I didn't know retirement was going to come this fast. Didn't know things were that bad. And then it's the voice of regret. Let's talk about the choosing connection, the second one. So again, which ones are easy, which ones are hard for you? But the second choice to end the anxiety that you feel with your money, not only choosing reality, but choose connection. So talk openly with a trusted friend, family, coach about your money. Do you have somebody you can talk to about it? Can you join financial literacy groups or communities? You just did. Here we are. And we're not the only one, right? There's lots of groups out there and YouTube channels, and there's lots of literacy out there to help you to learn the truth about managing your money. Lots of different frameworks that you can pick. Dave Ramsey is only one voice in a big sea of voices when it comes to managing your money. And you might gravitate more towards him or to others, or right there's Robert Kiyosaki on one end of the spectrum and Dave Ramsey on the other end of the spectrum. Very different approaches, right? But you got to learn, you got to join, you got to talk to people. Join those communities. And number three, avoid isolation because shame thrives in secrecy. If you mess up on your budget, dust yourself off, get back on the horse, and let's keep going. So choosing connection, you got to have an accountability partner, and we have one built in with a coach. You might have one built in with a spouse, but that often, in my experience, that spousal accountability partner has it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes, why is money the number one reason for distress, divorce, and fighting in a relationship? There's a reason. So we have to find the neutral third party that's going to cheer you on, that believes in your greatness, that's going to push you even when you feel like giving up. So make sure you are choosing connection. Do you have any best practices or success stories that anybody can share when it comes to choosing connection and having somebody to help you and motivate and push you through? Catching up on the comment in from Bradley and Donna. I think this one was from the last one on the choosing reality. Sorry, I missed it. Realizing that even though we budget for certain funds, and I still need to wait for the paycheck to be there to spend it. Yeah, it's hard. That's the reality. I have to wait. I can't afford to do karate lessons this month, maybe next month. Okay, that's good. Yeah, accept reality. All right, connection. Any comments and thoughts about connection? Anybody want to share how their coach has helped them through this step to choose connection? Hopefully you have somebody. Hopefully there's somebody you can turn to in your life that you can connect with and share your successes as well as your challenges. Make sure they have the true lifestyle that you're wanting. Don't take advice from broke people. Make sure you're getting an educated opinion and fact check those and double check those opinions so that make sure that they align with your goals. Let's talk about the third choice is to choose freedom. What does that mean? We're going to eliminate debt, right? Baby step two, eliminate debt to reduce the financial bondage. We're going to build an emergency fund for flexibility. That's baby step one and three. We're going to avoid lifestyle inflation. Have you heard that phrase before? That term, lifestyle inflation. Anybody want to come off of mute or put it in the chat? What does lifestyle inflation mean?
You make more, so you spend more.
Yeah, every time I get a raise, it's nice for the first month. I feel all this freedom. And then all of a sudden I find a reason to spend it or I buy something and I fill that gap, that void with more lifestyle. We can finally afford that and we go and do it. And we love to live paycheck to paycheck and we do it at every income level. In human nature, I see that all the time. I've got clients that make $2,800 a month and they live paycheck to paycheck. And I can understand why. At $2,800 a month, that is tight. And then I have other clients that make $25,000 a month and life is tight and they live paycheck to paycheck. They both waste money just in larger amounts depending on your income. So choose freedom. Again, discipline brings freedom, not lack of boundaries. That doesn't bring freedom. Love the example you may have heard in your past about the child who was flying a kite with his dad, and the kite was soaring up in the sky, and the child said, "Let go of the string, Dad. It'll fly even higher." And if you've ever flown a kite, you know that that is definitely not the thing to do. Once you lose or if you let go of the string, the kite falls. Why? Because it doesn't have that resistance. It doesn't have that discipline anymore. So discipline brings freedom. So your choices, which you've mentioned in today's in our conversation, writing things down, meal prepping, right? Those are things that are going to lead to your freedom. Your behaviors lead to freedom. Freedom is the result of your actions. Next one, choose health. Setting boundaries. Kind of talked about that around your spending. I have a limit. That's what the budget is all for. It's your budget. You're the one you're telling yourself when to stop. Do you listen to yourself? Do you honor those boundaries? We avoid financial burnout. Sometimes we can push ourselves too hard. We get impatient. And I think when I graduate, I should have $100,000 salary and be the CEO of the company. Well, I probably need more patience and a reality check. And if I push myself, right, we want to be gazelle intense, right? Dave Ramsey talks about be gazelle intense and really push yourself, but be careful that it doesn't swing the pendulum too far the other way. I had another client in Virginia who was very intense, and she saved $100,000 in a very short amount of time. And she got so tired and sick of just, I hate saving, I hate doing this stuff. So she swung the pendulum the other way, and she was started to do all these trips, and she was blowing through that money very quickly. So we got to be careful that our pace is measurable and we don't burn out before we get to the finish line. We need to invest in physical and mental health. If there's something nagging at you that I just need to take care of in my heart or in my head or in my body, get some help. If you can improve your physical or mental health on your own, do it, right? You can coach yourself. You can be your own personal trainer. For a lot of people, they need that outside opinion to say you're holding back. You're you're not living at your full capacity. Because we'll justify our actions. I am running. No, you're not running. Just walking faster than you normally do. Oh, okay, fine. I'll push harder. That's my personal trainer has to push me because I hold back, even subconsciously. So invest in yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Right? If you need help from a therapist, get the help. They can guide you through healing those inner trauma and trigger wounds. And that often I have found, again, in my approach to finances through the mindset as much as the math, often the mindset is what holds us back more than the math. And I've had clients that will struggle with a baby step, and it has nothing to do with the number. It has to do with their mindset. Different client. She was saving for a car. Her baby step 1B in our personalized coaching, we identified baby step 1B for her would be to save for a car because she knew this job was going to end and she had to move. She was in a contract employee and she knew the next contract was going to be in a different area. So she feared that. And so she was like, I need to save for a car because I'm probably going to have to move. I need a car to get there. So she saved $15,000 in 6 months to be able to buy her car. And we hit that goal and we celebrated and said, okay, get out there and get the car. No, I think I'm going to save more. Why? Well, because an $18,000 car will be more reliable than a $15,000 car, potentially. But like, why won't you get to baby step 2, which is paying off your debt? Oh, I just want to save more. What's wrong with your debt? And she finally opened up and she said, it's what it represents to me. For me, she got emotional. That student debt, I feel like my family let me down and they weren't there to protect me. And so that debt brings up a lot of resentment and anger towards my mom. So I don't want to look at it. So I'm going to go over there and save because that's easy. And if I go to baby step 2 and start paying off my debt, I have to face that trigger wound, and that pain, and that feeling of abandonment and betrayal because my family wasn't there to tell me there's a different way than getting student loans. So there's some blame and there's some shame, and that's why she wasn't doing baby step 2. And she got stuck in baby step 1B for too long. So get the help physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever you need. Baby step 5, or not baby, choice 5 is to choose mindfulness. So practice conscious spending. We've heard some comments about that. At the grocery store, have your calculator out and know what you're spending and know when you need to stop and put the stuff back. And I love Nicole, what she said reminds me of, like, I have food. I'm going to make like playing a game with myself. I'm going to see how long I can make this stuff last. Best practice I love sharing with you all stories from other real clients. All the stories that I share are real clients. And she said, I was struggling. I didn't want to, it was the end of the month and I couldn't go spend any more money. We had hit our budget. And so the answer was no, we can't go shopping. And so I went to Chat GPT and I pulled at the ingredients in our pantry and it told me what to make tonight. It's like, that's genius. What a great idea, creative way of like, I don't know what to do with these random ingredients. And it came up with the meal plan for her that night. And she made it to the end of the month. So we're practice conscious spending. We delay the gratification. We avoid impulse purchases. Easier said than done because, hey, it's on sale or the new one just came out and I want it now and I deserve it because it's been hard. Life's hard, so I deserve that thing, right? That's maybe putting your freedom at risk when you think that way. So also reflect on your financial goals regularly. Do you have one? Do you know what you're working on? There's a principle in psychology called goal stacking, where we set one goal after another. So you know, as soon as I hit this one, I know where to move till next. And then I know which comes after. What do you think the baby steps are? That's a goal stack 7 deep of baby step 1, then what? Baby step 2, then what? Baby step 3, then what? And you just know these are my goals. So if you don't have a specific goal for the month of August, what do you want to accomplish this month? There's still 17 days or whatever left in the month. So what do you want to accomplish this month? Maybe step 6, or I keep saying that. The Ramsey in me. The choice 6 is to choose belief, to cultivate a growth mindset about money. Right? How do you think about money? Do you think there's not enough? Do you think scarcity that the world is holding me back and I can never win with money? Your mindset will get you stuck in a baby step because you might not believe you can even get through that, or the next one will be impossible. So don't let your mindset hold you back. Learn from your past mistakes without shame, right? Own them. That's my history. I can learn, I can move forward. One of my finance teachers says, there's nothing to be learned from the second mule kick to the head. So we learn from the past and we move on and we get better because of it, right? There's wisdom. And we visualize a better financial future. Can you even see it? Can you even imagine a better financial situation? Can you imagine yourself debt free? Can you imagine yourself with that $1,000 and keeping it? Can you imagine yourself with $1 million in your retirement account so you can live the life that you want? People say, I don't need to be a millionaire. I say, do the math. You do. The millionaire will only get you $40 to $80,000 a year. Can you live on $40 to $80,000 a year? Some people can. Some people don't want to. Some people want to have a different quality of life. Then you better save more because the math says you've got to have more than $1 million. Okay, let's pause there. Now we've seen all 6 of them. What are your thoughts? Come off of mute, put it in the comment. Let's review these together and talk and support each other with these different beliefs, these different choices. So any thoughts that have come up as we've been sharing this together? Especially the most important question is, how does this apply to you? David.
Yeah, I think specifically for like me, like where I'm at is um like yeah, this book I've been reading too, like just having that growth mindset. You're talking about scaling yourself, talk about like scaling your business. If you think about scaling, it's not like, oh, I want to get to this one level, then that's it. It's talking about like, having keep going up, you keep growing, you keep growing, you keep growing. And I guess just like with goals and stuff like that, to have the mentality of like the book uses like the idea of like an impossible goal. Like if you have an impossible goal, like, hey, I want to have um and be really specific with it, but like, hey, the next 6 weeks I want to be generating like, $10,000 from an app, or from a year from now, I want to quit my full daytime job. And you make it kind of big and scary because then you have to realize like, hey, what things do I actually need to do right now today to get to that goal? What things do I need to cut out? Following the 80-20% thing, like 20% that you do is the most important things. So what things do you need to simplify and cut out of your life to grow? What do you need to do to get to that point? Um, so I guess I'm trying to do that a little more. I mean, I've started, so we'll see how it goes.
Sure. That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's focusing on those small behaviors that make all the difference. That growth mindset, right? Scare yourself with a big goal and build the goals and the discipline to achieve those. Thank you for sharing that. Other thoughts as we approach the end? How is this going to affect you in your life going forward? I'm a big fan of application. David is reading this book and already, oh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. It's not just about reading for entertainment, it's reading for application. Hopefully, tonight is about application. And it's not just one way to spend an hour. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate even more your application. That's what I'm wanting for you is transformation. So as you think about homework over the next 30 days, I want you to complete a financial inventory. Right? Choose reality and look at where you are and see, okay, where I've been working this path. Have I updated my numbers? Do I really know what my debts are now? Have they gotten better? Have they gotten worse? Are my spending habits get better or worse? It's just a little bit of reality. Give yourself a lot of patience and grace. Don't be too hard on yourself, right? No shame, no blame, no judgment, no defensiveness. This is just a history lesson. Am I getting better or not? And if not, why not? Identify some goals. Might be to create a simple budget, right? It's hopefully every one of us is doing a simple budget every month, knowing our numbers. Where do I need to stop in certain areas? I have boundaries. I honor and observe those boundaries. Discuss your finances with a trusted person. Coach is built into that, but also talk to your spouse, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to some trusted person that can help support you and encourage you along your journey and set one financial goal for the next 30 days. What do you want to accomplish? You know your weak spots. You know those, like David says, I know the things that I'm doing that are holding me back. So this is where I get to choose. Our life is as a result of our choices. We are where we are because of our choices. I know a lot of stuff happens to us in life. I'm not ignorant to the fact that there's a lot of stuff that just kind of happens to us. But what is more important than what happens to us is what we do about what happens to us. Those are our choices. Viktor Frankl, one of my favorite authors, wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. And he says, in between stimulus and response, there is a gap. And in that gap lies our freedom to choose. And in our choices lie our freedom and our power. So we all have stimulus. We all have response. Did you know that we are making a choice in the gap there? For some people, that gap is very slow and it's just a knee-jerk reaction. The trigger, and man, I didn't even think that all of a sudden I got scared and I'm running down this road. I didn't think I made a choice. Yeah, it was just so small. I didn't realize I made a choice and it was a knee-jerk reaction. So we got to increase that space, to increase the gap between stimulus and response. Choose better choices, choose better decisions. Anybody want to share a goal that they would like to set and achieve over the next 30 days? Between now and the next group session in September, what do you want to accomplish?
Like my goal, scary goal is to have, we've had this for a while, but I want to get this app up on the App Store and actually have, you know, maybe like five. Maybe let's go to paying customers. I'm sure. That's the goal.
That's a big goal. Yeah, from where we've been in the past, that's awesome. That would be a big leapfrog forward. Let's get it on the App Store and let's get some users for it. That'd be awesome. Love the goal. Thank you for sharing that, David. Good luck in your goal. Other goals anybody wants to share? Sometimes saying them out loud can be scary because now the world, other people around me now know what I'm working for. Nicole says, I want to pay off my car. Can you do it in the next 30 days, Nicole? Can you pay the whole stinking thing off? You done?
I wish, but it'll be
Okay.
paid down a lot further in 30
Okay.
days.
Okay, good. All right, let's get really specific. We're going to be reality check. So let me coach you for a second. How much can you do in the next 30 days? It won't be paid off. It'll be paid down. What can you, how much can you pay off in the next 30 days? What's your normal
My
payment? How much more?
goal is 3,000.
That's awesome. Okay, just think about that, all right? Visualize that.
Mm-hmm.
Paying $3,000 towards my car. Man, what would that do? How much time will that take off of my time in jail, financial jail with that debt, that bondage? That's going to be a big leapfrog forward. How many payments is $3,000? Like that's an amazing goal. You set a goal last time to to meal prep more. You're accomplishing that. So I want to hear that success story next month in our group session, Nicole, that you paid $3,000 on your car. That would be amazing. There's different strategies of that, right? Watch your budget. It's you got to watch those little expenses, but you can do it. Thank you for sharing that. Other thoughts on goals? Anybody want to share a goal for this next 30 days? Hopefully you have one. Write it down, share it with somebody, put it on your bathroom mirror, on the fridge, somewhere you can see it, and remind yourself, what am I working towards? I'm getting that app on the App Store. I'm paying $3,000 on the car. And you see it and you just program your mind. That's how you build an abundance mindset, is to program your mind to accomplish these goals and to make a reality what you are dreaming about. So you can do it. Thank you all again so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your evenings to come and to learn and to share. Hopefully you take some things away. Share this with others. I'll be posting this on the YouTube channel later, so you're welcome to revisit and to share it and give it a thumbs up and whatever you want to do with yours, just to share it and say, okay, I'm building my financial future. Share our website with others. We love 5-star reviews on Google. That helps other people to know what we do and how we can help them. And hopefully that inspires others to get help, from whether it's me or one of my coaches or someone else. We all gotta help each other to improve our financial situations. So thank you for being here and helping our community grow and improve. If there's anything that I or my coaches can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Make sure you sign up for next month's group coaching program. It's the same link that you used for tonight. Just go forward into the September month and you'll see when it's available, and look forward to seeing you then. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.